Hey guys, first Regardsman here, and so I'll be talking about a Chainsword Assault build for patch 11.2 of Space Marine 2. And now, the Chainsword has been a solid pick in this game ever since it came out, and these days we have a Blood Angel skin for this weapon, so it's kind of a mandatory pick in my opinion, because I love Blood Angels. That's one of the main reasons I wanted to make this today. Now, for the variants here, I did take the Block Chainsword because block weapons are the overall best in Space Marine 2, especially for the Assault class, because having more damage on your weapon does affect the damage of your ground pound, so really good option here. Now, for the perk tree, I did take Perpetual Strength first, melee damage increased by 5%, moving here into the perk Swift Recovery. Heavy attacks restore 100% more contested health, applies to the following attacks: Quick Punch, Front Kick, Shoulder Bash, and Stomp. Now, this is one of the best CHP recovery perks in the entire game. Getting double CHP on your heavy attacks, especially on a Chainsword with this attack setup, is super good for clearing out Minoris, fighting off Majoris and stuff like that, and making sure you don't lose HP. Really top tier option. Pretty much always take this on any Chainsword variant. Next perk here, Perpetual Strength. Move up here to the perk Perpetual Strength once again for a melee damage increase of 10%. And then I pick up the perk here, Reverberating Impact. Stomp area effect radius increases by 50%. Now, some people may want to take the perk down here, Saw Blade, to increase your light combo length from 4 to 5 strikes. To be honest, I don't think increasing your light combo length is like really useful at all in this game, especially on a block one where you only have like 3 speed, so definitely pick this one up in my opinion. Next perk here is Combined Onslaught, moving down here into the perk Heavy Onslaught for heavy attacks dealing 15% more melee damage. Then I pick up the perk Full Throttle. Now, this gives you a charge attack on your Chainsword, but the main reason we pick this one up is actually to do a combo skip, because the combo skip is like the only reason Full Throttle is good in this game. The actual charge attack is pretty garbage, so definitely pick this one up for that. I'll put like a little video up here if you don't know what the combo skip is. And the next perk after this is Minoris Slayer, finishing off the perk here Extremis Slayer to get that extra Extremis damage. Though if you do want to skip over these two perks, just go up here for Hard Target and the perk over here, Majoris Slayer. You can definitely do that instead. You know, that is up to you, and that's pretty much all there is for the Chainsword setup here. Now, on the secondary, I did take the Heroic Heavy Bolt Pistol. This has the highest gun strike damage in the entire game, and the Heroic perk effect here is called No Help is Coming. Shooting an enemy with the Elite Scream status stops you from calling for reinforcements, and headshots will kill in one shot. Now, unfortunately, this perk is still bugged. Body shots do nothing to stop reinforcement calls, but a headshot will still kill in one shot, so still a great option. And even though this weapon has a low magazine capacity and low ammo reserve option, it doesn't actually matter as much as you might think, because being able to one-shot a reinforcement calling enemy on absolute difficulty means A, you are avoiding a reinforcement calling enraged enemy, which means that usually when you stop a reinforcement calling enemy, they will go enraged immediately after, so you're killing that guy in one shot on top of stopping the reinforcement call, so it actually saves you a ton of ammo, so pretty good perk option here for sure. Now, for the perk tree, I do set up this way: Divine Might, damage increased by 10%, moving here to the perk Perpetual Penetration, then I pick up Increased Capacity into Extended Magazine, and then I pick up the perk Death Strike. After killing a Majoris level or higher enemy in melee combat, you will deal 25% more damage for 10 seconds. Now, this perk will also trigger off a finisher, not just a melee kill, so keep that in mind. And then I decide to go up here through Great Might into the perk Discipline. When you have low ammo, you'll deal 25% more damage. This perk is very strong because this weapon doesn't have a great ammo economy anyways, so triggering this happens all the time. Though I will say, if you're playing Assault like we are here, you could go down for Able Damage instead, because after using a class ability, damage increases by 20% for 10 seconds. This perk does trigger all the time on our class here because we do use our jump pack pretty often. So if you want to go down here, you definitely can, but to be honest, both options, going up here or down here, are pretty good. Either way, I would make sure to go all the way down the tree into the Tactical Precision perk, because headshots dealing 20% more damage and non-headshot damage decreasing by 10%. This is just a super good option for us because headshots are pretty much all that matters on any bolt weapon. Now, if you are fighting Chaos, I would either take an Inferno Pistol or a Plasma Pistol rate of fire variant, because not having Stagger versus Chaos really sucks, especially versus Soul Can Terminators, but you know, that's really up to you. And for the Plasma Pistol, I would set it up this way, and for the Inferno Pistol, I would just take the ammo option and set it up this way. And that's pretty much all there is for the secondary here. Now, for the perk tree, we do start off with the perk Overcharge. Damage from held and charged melee attacks increases by 25%. This will affect the Shoulder Bash, Kick, and the Stomp on your Chainsword, so really good for a catch-all damage increase. So I will say the perk down here, Armor Reinforcement, this is easier to survive with, especially if you're playing by yourself, because non-finisher gun strikes destroy one armor segment. This will prevent a lot of damage on your character, because any amount of armor remaining in Space Marine 2 will reduce all incoming melee damage to 0, even from bosses, so really good perk for survival, and honestly one of the best in the entire game. But, you know, I took this one for damage. The next perk here is Consecutive Execution. Killing 7 enemies in rapid succession restores equipment charge by 1. Cooldown is 90 seconds. Now, a 90-second Melt-A-Bomb will save your life on operations, hard strats, and siege mode. It is a top-tier perk, and I do think this is like the overall best value in this entire column here, because Melt-A-Bombs are kind of overperforming in Space Marine 2, and having them on a 90-second cooldown is incredible, and being able to just instantaneously remove an Extremis from a boss fight in like a hard strat or operation will save your life and make the boss fight significantly easier. And also just on hard siege, having options like this to just blow up biovores and stuff like that will just make your runs go way faster. So great option all around. Next perk here is Knowledge of the Enemy. Melee damage increases by 15% against Majoris or Extremis level enemies. This will affect just your overall melee damage for your ground pound and stuff like that, so a really great option here as well. And also I will say active attrition is pretty decent on top of this, because this one says enemies hit by damage from melee attacks executed while sprinting or dashing take 25% more damage for 5 seconds. This one's pretty nice to trigger on bosses and stuff like that, because a 25% debuff to the enemy is pretty damn powerful at the moment, especially since this also affects your gun strikes, not just your melee attacks, so pretty good all around. Though I just decided to take this one for like a flat melee damage buff instead. Next perk here, Strategic Strikes. All team members deal 20% more melee damage against Extremis or Terminus level enemies. This is a great option here. I do think this perk is overall the best in this, if you're not trying to pick up gun strikes for proven efficiency, because having more melee damage is really just like the overall playstyle of the Assault class. It will help you pick up some free kills on Extremis, and Extremis are by far the most dangerous enemies overall in Space Marine 2 when there aren't bosses around, so this one's definitely a good option. Next perk here is Smiting Angel. Ground pounds damage by 25%. Moving down here into Zealous Blow, a ground pound kill restores jump packs charged by 10%, and then the final perk I grab in the gear tree is Pride and Duty for 25% more damage on ground pound for 10 seconds after a finisher. Now, Zealous Blow is by far the best perk in the entire gear tree in my opinion. Getting 10% CDR off a single Minotaur's kill is incredible. This allows you to loop over and over in both Chaos and Tyranid operations and Hard Siege. This gives you so much value and so many free ground pounds. The other perk options really have a hard time giving you equivalent value, and overall Zealous Blow has just been like the best perk options since the game came out. Smiting Angel and Pride and Duty are just here to give us more ground pound damage to enable more kills for Zealous Blow to trigger, and Pride and Duty will trigger off of any finisher in the game, including Minotaur's Executes, even from gun strikes, so keep that in mind. Final perk here for the Signature Tree is Ample Ammunition. Any use of jump pack reloads the equipped ranged weapon and increases its damage by 50% for 10 seconds. This is a really nice perk to have, especially for things like the Inferno Pistol, because the Inferno Pistol has a 5 business day reload speed, and even on things like Plasma and the Heavy Bolt Pistol, this 50% damage increase is very strong. It really does help you pick up quite a few kills, especially if you like land a Zoanthrope or something like that. Now, for the Prestige perks, I did take Unyielding Oath once again. When charging a ground pound, you become invulnerable for 3 seconds. This perk will allow you to become invulnerable the entire trajectory of your ground pound if you actually trigger it properly. Really easy to pull off and gives you a ton of utility on the Assault. Next perk here is Adrenaline Boost. After a perfect time parry, block, or dodge, you will not lose control from heavy hits, and you cannot be knocked back for 10 seconds. This one simply prevents you from getting stun locked by a lot of the enemies in the game, especially things like Sword Warriors and Chaos Spawn, and having this perk is just pretty much mandatory on the Assault in my opinion, because without no knockback, you'll be slapped around at times, so definitely grab this one. Final 2 perks are Fortitude for a health increase of 15% for pretty self-explanatory reasons, which is that HP prevents you from instantaneously dying and just detonating in a match, especially on Hard Siege. And the final perk is Practice Aim. Range damage increases by 15%, because a little bit of a range damage buff is pretty nice to have. And that's pretty much all there is for this build, guys. We can finally play the Blood Angels Assault Chainsword. You know, hopefully one day they allow these skins to be put on things like the Heroic option, because currently I do think I prefer the Heroic option over the Block Chainsword just for the terms of fun. But as far as this one is concerned, it is very strong, and this should be a pretty decent build for operations and hard strats. And hopefully this build guide helped you, and as always, thank you for watching. Take it easy. Bye.
Disconnect her synaptic tethers from the facility command terminals. Stand firm. I expect her to route Xenos to assault your locus.
Hold this territory.
How about Drukari fans? I wouldn't know any. They're all banned from chat. Those guys are into some weird shit. We haven't allowed a Drukari fan in this chat since the second founding.
Another alien falls to the opinions. Wounds of the Imperium. The world this Xenos sought to pursue now pursues.
Drukari fans are worse than the craft world. I could see it. I mean, considering Drukari are still worse than the craft world somehow. Only makes sense, right? What up, G? What's up, Jimmy? We're doing a little bit of the game and always Tracy would give tours of his collection. I never liked the idea that Tracy just has like a clone of Fulgrim.
Within the sphere of console negation.
Dark Eldar are peak, collected them since the game came out. I'm sorry that we have to ban you now, Fridge. I mean, it's unfortunate. I mean, you said it. You could have just kept it to yourself, but we can't have any Drukari fans here. What operation do you think we're running?
Hold this territory. Within the sphere of console negation.
FTG, do you like Corvettes? No, I like a Prius, dude. I need my car to be as cosmically gay as possible.
Power dwells within this device. Take the power cell to the generator.
Where even is this?
I beseech you, Galio.
Down here?
Bear witness to the summation of our divine arithmetic from long ago. Remember
What have you got against
Project
torture?
Zeta 6.
What do you think?
As my theorems predicted, your life vector has converged with
I'm a
renegade
Tesla guy
factors,
myself.
and Zeta 6
Ah.
was a waste of computational resources and one perfect.
I'm not sure what that says about you. It says something.
Surrender now, and perhaps leniency can be granted. After the might grows, of course.
You are a redundant functionary. You're a
Drinking Henny and driving a Prius, a hybrid Prius.
in the dark.
Like hounds in the center of the road. You cannot be thrown off so easily.
Futile.
We sped, no expense.
You trifle
Thing.
with the only hope against the hive mind the Imperium has left.
Within the sphere of console negation.
What if you're a cyclist guy? Well, then you probably get everywhere 10 times slower than me. That's what. I have a fucking car, dude. You're a nerd with like 2 wheels. I got 4.
Console play.
Return to
and a
me,
motor,
Chainsword
and like an
Technology.
engine is probably the most important part, but you know what I mean.
See me, Jim. The more you thrash, the deeper you set off.
I exclusively drive a Warthog from Halo 2, not Halo 3, Halo 2. What's the difference, you may ask? Well, if you knew that, you wouldn't be asking the question. I should say, if you deserve to know that. What if he has training wheels on his cycle, then he has 4 wheels? Training wheels come out to, like, at most. So every training wheel is like a 1/4 of a wheel, okay? Like, maybe I'll give you, like, 2.5 wheels. You're better than before, but still inferior. That works. I don't make the rules. FTG has an e-scooter? How'd you know?
Science.
You like the Frankenstein scheme of the scheme of homunculus? That is cool. Like Drukhari have pretty cool stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
The pulpous gray matter is in our
How about an electric unicycle guy? Now unicycle, despite being very similar to the cycle, is in fact far superior in skill and effort. Therefore, we accept you. I've heard bears ride those. Listen guys, if grizzly bears can ride on unicycles, then like they're good enough for the rest of us. Anything cool enough for a bear to do is cool enough for us. That's why we eat honey. Didn't Family Guy make a joke like that once? Dude, what is this shit? Unicycling is just aura farming? It really is. It's actually hard. I've only ever seen one guy on a unicycle once. It was at a circus, okay? But he was not the clown. He's anything but a clown. He was a man. He was a real man. Why does the block Chainsword feel so much better on tactical than assault? Because assault has better options. He also has battle focus on tactical.
There is naught but weather left in our path. There's so great. A lictor stalks us. It seeks to prey on us. Take flight and let terror jump back with you. We eliminated the shrouded menace. My airborne ready. Our boats were overwhelmed. Stop them! Another alien falls to the Imperials.
Dang. Ammo box like that. Okay. Not the way I had to go. One of the ways I could have gone. Would full throttle excluding the cancel be good if they bump it up from 100% to 300%? Maybe. I mean, it'd be a good charge attack. It would never be worth using. Like, it's just so impractical, though. It needs to go further. That's what I have to do. I just love the boost set too much on the Heroic Chainsword, but the Blood Angel's skin is very hot. That's how I feel. Hello. I guess I'll never see him again. Maybe he'll come with me. Do we know if the new voice lines for the Blood Angels and Templars will include the mission voice lines? I mean, they should. I doubt, like, that sounds like some mod shit, where, like, it only works on the mission things.
And Patriot's meddling code. Trigon vulnerability data pushed to your displays.
The Imperium demands the Trigon's extermination. Its carapace has frailties. Exploit them!
I mean, that's the most damaging combo there. I'm pretty sure it's not. Ooh, bomb right here. Very convenient. Is the melt a bomb the only thing that can stun the Trigon? Yes. Yes, it is.
Sterilize these burrows of Xenos.
Oh wait, I have another one.
The aberration alive, brothers. Seal the Xenos-infested chasms with the thermal weaponry. Rain it strikes. Come back. The boss kind of a joke. Here, Mad FTG. Next update, they add the assault grenade launcher and raid and rad missiles. True Angels tears gear. I mean, I would like anything in this game for assault at this point. This is like I would like more war gear in Space Marine 2. That's what I would want.